Hello, users. Welcome. Welcome to the inaugural Consulting Detective Network stream, and I'm glad I actually said that correctly. We're probably going to just say CDN from here on out. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Hello to everybody that came in with the raid. Hello to everybody that came in from other channels. I am ecstatic to be joined today by robotspacer.
Hello.
Right? I'm going to give robotspacer a shout out in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
For those that are unfamiliar with me constantly reposting the same information on the various social medias, this is the start of a new series, the Consulting Detective Network. My goal is for this to be a collaboration with a bunch of people that I've collaborated with before, a bunch of people I haven't collaborated before, and as I've said many times, an excuse for Silver to hang out with cool people. Basically, we're going to be playing games that have some form of mystery or investigation. And it's with a large group of folks, so that scheduling can be flexible for their time. It will not always be on this channel, depending on what people prefer. But overall, I'm excited to get started. It's actually very fitting that robotspacer is one of the first people that we get to start with as the remote detective. He has, in many cases that I've seen, the same, if not greater, appreciation of adventure games and mystery games than I. Recently playing at Malpiti Island, which I can't say that I would have stopped by now, but there's a few times that I came close. Yes, hi, Hinton. Ooh, we have an Unsecret Crush in chat, so let me give that right button there. Well, honestly, I mean, that's most of what it is to it. For the folks that have seen it, I'm not going to go through the overlay because you will see it all as it goes on. I will introduce Cadence whenever she pops up, my assist AI as I'm working through this. And Lamplight City is the game that we're going to be playing. I'm going to hopefully say this right, from Grendislav Games. They have a new game coming out soon, which is also exciting because it's a Western, and there's not very many non-comedic Western games out there.
Does it have a release date?
I think it's set for this year. I have not seen.
That's what I was thinking also.
Yeah, I haven't seen a actual day. Now I'm gonna check because they should get all the kudos. Yep, just this year. Okay.
Nice.
All right, folks. Well, with that, I'm gonna load up the game here, and I'm gonna make sure that it actually switches scenes. We'll go to this one. Yeah. So some housekeeping here up front. For the first time in a non-charity event, I do have alerts on. Are the co-hosts allowed to backseat? Yes, that is the goal.
Question.
That is absolutely the goal. In general, as of so far, everyone that has chosen a game as part of the CDN has not played that game before. In some cases, I have played the game before. In this case, definitely not. I think I announced all the games. So, one of the games that someone is super excited to want to play, and asked, is Myst. And I have played that game probably 100 times. I am definitely not going to be behind controls on that one. But yes, the whole point on this is we are collaborative detectives on this. We're doing the investigation together. If ideas occur to robotspacer, he can give me feedback or say I'm doing the wrong thing or tell me to pause. But please, in the chat, no backseating, hints, spoilers, tips, or otherwise, unless we explicitly ask you for input. You know what? I'm going to see if I can get Cadence to say hello, because we did get a raid.
What is Cadence?
It'll make sense in a second. You might actually be able to hear it, so we'll see.
Incoming raid.
Oh, you know what? I should also make sure that I can hear that. So Cadence is what I am calling the alert audio. It is a lady, and it was the easiest way. Like, hey, CDN can also be Cadence, so there we go. I need to turn on monitoring for that. Try it one more time. Uh-oh, did I break her?
Oh no. Rip Cadence.
Try that one.
New follower.
Nope, I can hear her. Okay, thank you, Cadence. All right, so I have alerts on. I probably need to shrink the size of those alerts because they kind of overlap with captions. But that's not something we're going to worry about right now. I am the local feed here, and robotspacer is the remote feed. And what that means is that I am behind the controls, and robotspacer is the person that is watching the feed along with you and the co-detective. We have a bunch of different scenes here. Robotspacer is well known in these parts for his meticulous notes and maps and everything. So I made sure that we got a feed set up for him to share his wonderful notes. He does have my notebook from merch, and it actually looks great in the camera, which is fantastic. Yes. That makes me very happy. Yeah, we'll switch back to that as needed. I will ask robotspacer to tell me when he does or does not want it on the screen.
Oh, you can put it up whenever you want.
All right, we'll leave it up there for right now. I will mention, I don't think I've publicly said this before. No, we said it on your stream. So members of the CDN, as part of joining the CDN, I am sending them merch specific to the CDN that is only available for CDN members. No worries if you don't have it to show.
I don't have it right now, but
yeah,
I'm going to have some tea later.
Yeah, I mean, there will be breaks. I don't know how long we're going to go tonight, so we'll figure that out as we go. Also, likewise, I guess internal rules here. If you need a break at any point, please feel free to tell me. We didn't work that out.
I will need to have some pizza in a little while, but it's not ready yet. And I can also eat while we're gaming.
Yeah, there are no rules other than please do whatever makes you comfortable. All right, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and hit new game. I also, housekeeping as I hit this, neither of us have played this before. I haven't even played the demo before, so I'm excited to see this. I'm so happy it's voiced.
Same.
I did not know that. It started with a choice.
Let's be mean.
Let's be mean? All right.
Bill, wake up! The carriage is on fire!
That's only funny when I do it to you.
Oh, yeah. See, he deserved it.
Have a rough night?
Bit too much Bollingworth ale is all. That stuff really creeps up on you.
Sorry I couldn't join you, but I was long overdue for a quiet night in with Addie.
That's fine. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Hell, maybe Adelaide can even join us. It's been ages since she last drank me under the table.
Afraid she mostly sticks to tea these days.
Mark.
Miles, what exactly is it we're looking into? I may have dozed off during the briefing.
Okay, before I do that, the game audio is very hot. Fix that just a little bit. Chat, please let me know if anyone's audio levels, myself included, are weird. Okay.
Honestly, Bill, one of these days Snelling's gonna notice.
No, he won't. Why do you think they put him behind a desk? The man couldn't find his own backside with a pair of pliers and a lantern.
Very funny. Anyway,
is that how people find their backside?
Flower shop.
A burglary, eh? How dull. At least we'll have enough time to get a drink afterwards.
You seem awfully certain of that.
I am. In fact, I'd bet the devil my head that we're done within the hour.
Well, the devil's gonna be disappointed that his winnings are so meager.
I also want to call it, it's very interesting, they're in a carriage, but they're definitely not in era-appropriate
right.
carriage attire.
After you, Bill.
Did you have new baton? Oh boy, I'm not gonna be able to... Cholman Deli? Cholman Deli?
Clemondeli.
Clemondeli, okay.
I'm just making things up.
Be the freaking town from
Keep the change.
Pete's Dragon.
Oh, a blimp.
Yep. So, very obviously a steampunk game.
And so, our night of excitement begins.
You more than anyone else should know that there's rarely a dull night in Chumley.
That is not how I thought you would say that word.
Until we get to the pub, that is.
Keep your mind on the case, Bill. Now let's get a move on.
Ah, okay. Tutorial time. Context sensitive. All right.
Okay.
I mean, I do like a verb wheel, but...
Glad this thing is lit. This isn't really the type of place I'd prefer to be at this time of night.
Don't worry, Miles. I've got your back. Fordham, what are you doing?
I was gonna check inside this trash can for clues.
Miles, in the 15 years we've been partners, how many times have you found something inside a trash can that wasn't garbage?
Fair point.
I mean, look, we just came from a Honkai Star Rail stream. There is always something in the garbage somewhere.
He's just pacing back and forth.
I can't believe this guy won't let us check the trash.
Probably one of the patients from Riverview. Seems like there's more of them on the streets than in the asylum these days.
Looks like they've had some trouble with vandalism.
Pretty much every business in this part of town has.
Limp? Yeah. Legaia?
I can't believe that thing made it all the way across the Atlantic in less than a week.
Don't scoff at the future, Miles. Pretty soon, we'll all be riding those things to work.
Especially considering Prince Harold is their big celebrity passenger.
Prince Harold.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there other?
Certainly looks cozy in there.
Plants have a nice way of doing that.
That reminds me. I should pick up a bouquet for Addie when we're done here.
Seems like you've been spending more time with me than with her lately. I sure hope she's not the jealous type.
In we go.
Come on, Bill.
Charming little place, isn't it?
Charming, but empty. We need to find the owner.
Always so to the point, Fordham. If ever there was a better time to stop and smell the flowers.
I think I'll leave that to you, Bill.
With my allergies? Hardly.
Also, outside, there did not seem to be that much of a height difference, but I do like the art a lot.
Not too many left. Seems business isn't so bad around here.
Well, you know what they say. There are only 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and people taking advantage of sales.
Fine.
Be right there. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I must say you caught me by surprise. I was preparing to close soon. May I help you find anything? The flowers in the center display are half price this week, and I have a special on chrysanthemums today. Or perhaps a custom bouquet for the special ladies in your lives?
I have no need myself, but maybe Adelaide would appreciate a little something. Eh, Miles? Those peonies in the corner look nice.
I'm afraid we're not here as customers tonight, ma'am. We'd like to have a word with the proprietor. Is he in?
I see. I'm Cecilia Handbook, and
I'm Detective Miles
I didn't mean to
Fordham,
click.
and this is my partner, William Legere. We received a report of a burglary at your store.
A report? From whom? I never contacted the police before, and I didn't this time, either.
It was made anonymously, but are you saying this isn't the first time it's happened?
Correct. It's happened 3 times.
And
But
you didn't report it?
considering the police hardly care about the daily muggings and vandalisms around here, I didn't think they would be interested in something so trivial.
Well, we're here now, and we'll do all we can to help you.
We'll have to see about that.
If you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Handbrook, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Very well, Detective.
Okay, before I do anything, Captions is picking up game audio, which is interesting because nothing else is. Let me make sure it's pulling from the right source. That should be fine. Let's try that. You can still hear me fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I increased the noise gate that it's going through. Okay.
Could you give me the details concerning the burglaries?
About 3 weeks ago on Monday, I noticed that my order of Easter lilies was missing. At first, I thought nothing of it. Sometimes certain types of flowers are unavailable or arrive in poor condition. These things happen. Then 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, it happened again. But this time, I noticed something rather odd.
Go on.
When I opened the shop, there were 6 crowns and 10 shillings on the counter. That's exactly the cost of 2 orders of lilies. Last Friday, it happened yet again. The lilies were missing, and there was payment for 1 order on the counter. I believe that someone has been breaking into my shop after hours, taking the lilies, and leaving money behind.
So it's not
How
theft,
unusual.
but it is breaking and entering, which is weird. All right, I'm gonna try one more thing here. That should work, hopefully. Sure.
Have you noticed any suspicious characters lurking around?
Detective Fordham, this is Chumley. You can't throw a stone without hitting a suspicious
They're really
character.
pronouncing that as Chumley.
And if you
Okay.
noticed my window, you'd be aware that stones get thrown around quite a bit in this neighborhood. If you're looking for trouble, you're far more likely to find it out there than in here.
I meant if you'd seen anyone out of the ordinary near your shop.
Only the 2 men from the police who entered it tonight. That is most definitely out of the ordinary.
All right. I think we're good. Yes. Okay. Caption stopped for me for a second, but it's good. Sure. I want to call. I really like the close-up art. It reminds me of It reminds me of the first Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you found any evidence of a break-in?
No, the front door is always locked. My assistant Trevor and I are the only ones with the key.
Are there any other points of access to the building?
The upstairs windows, I suppose, but I make sure to keep them locked, and neither of them have been broken.
Would you allow us to have a look upstairs?
Is that really necessary? I was just about to close up the shop.
It won't take but a moment.
Fine, I suppose you may, but please, don't dally too long.
We have a casebook somewhere.
New follower.
Oh, thank you for the follow. Should check how close I am to my next goal. I think my goal is 850.
So this burglar has been paying for the stolen goods?
That would appear to be the case, yes. I really don't think this could even be considered a crime. That's one of the reasons I didn't bother reporting it to the police.
And the other reasons?
Oh, I think I've already made those quite clear, Detective.
I believe she means a cab.
Yeah.
You mentioned your assistant has the other shop key. What can you tell me about him?
His name is Trevor Hastings, and he has been working for me for the past 10 years.
Do you trust him?
Implicitly. I've known him for ages, and he has been my full-time assistant since shortly after my husband died. You're not suggesting he had anything to do with this, are you?
Not at all. I would like to speak with him, though. Where might I find him?
It's Friday, so he should be on his way back from the docks right now. He'll be bringing my flower order within the hour.
Good. We'll meet him here, then. If that's all right with you.
I suppose I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
My phone was going off. No.
Have you been in business long?
Yes, I opened this shop 30 years ago, along with my late husband, David.
That's a great time for a flower
For
shop.
the past 10 years, I've been running things on my own.
Don't you feel unsafe being here by yourself so late into the night?
Detective, when you've lived in this part of town as long as I have, it takes quite a lot to scare you.
I think that's all the information I need for
Also,
now.
she probably
All
has a
right,
gun in her hat.
Detective.
All right. Aha. All right. First things first. First safe. Let's look at what this casebook looks like. Ooh.
Oh, I don't even need to take notes.
You say that now. We'll see. Regularly burglarized. Point of entry upstairs. Wait for Trevor. This reminds me of oh my god, what was it called? It was really awesome, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Whispers of the Machine?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Yep. They had a very similar, like, hey, look at the things you thought about before. I mean, you could.
That's too much work.
Yeah, I mean, that was already too much work for the game you had to do it in.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, this is very. Was Whispers of the Machine from them? Surely not, right?
No. I can't remember what the developer was of that one, but
I am. It was another Wadget Eye adjacent group. I'm pulling up the store page.
it's on the tip of my tongue, but
Yeah. I think they did one of the games that you ended up playing through. Whispers of a Machine. Let me correct myself. Clifftop Games.
yes.
And they did Kathy Rain.
Kathy Rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, hey, look. For many decades, there was only really two ways of doing adventure games, which was Scum or the Sierra method, and I'm glad to see that people are picking up their own methods nowadays.
Yeah.
All right. We talked with her. Let's talk with Bill, who's standing over there like a lump.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles, I've got 5.
No, generous.
Please say the town name again.
You ever miss living out here, Bill?
About as much as you missed stepping in that pile of horseshit last week.
I was distracted by that story you were telling me about your sister. How's she doing out west, anyway?
Well, she's not in the chum, so fantastic. Living here was about as fun as wearing a vest made of meat to a dogfight. I'm glad we both managed to get out. Oh, and by the way, Miles, you didn't do such a great job of cleaning your shoes.
That would explain all the funny looks I've been getting. What's your impression of dear old Mrs. Hanbrook?
I like her. Good old-fashioned, tough-as-nails Chumley woman.
Yeah,
Reminds me
Chumley.
of my mother.
I don't get how you get
Mother
that
was
from
never
there, but
quite so
okay.
stubborn. Why do you suppose she's so reluctant to accept our help?
It's a chum thing, Miles. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, Cap.
It's a chum thing.
Still feeling rough, Bill?
Yes, but I'll feel better once his case is finished and we can go down to the Angel for a pint or 4.
Hair of the dog?
No better medicine.
I've heard of honor among thieves, but have you ever known a thief to pay for stolen goods?
Perhaps conducting normal business is just too boring for him.
There could be any number of reasons.
Stop resting my
The
hand
best
on the
way to
mouse.
find out is to catch the culprit and ask him ourselves.
My mouse is long overworked, and the responsiveness of the buttons is starting to wear down to
Let's
the
get
point
back to
where
it.
even the
All
slightest
right.
touch will be an activation. I guess we're gonna go.
Not too many left.
Okay, no,
Well,
that's
This is quite the selection. Come over here and take a whiff, Bill.
Sure, if you don't mind me getting snot all over your coat.
Oh, no, not the Myers case all over again. On second thought, you can just stay over there. These prices are pretty reasonable. The place I go in Worcester's clearly robbing me blind.
If you think those are bad, don't go near the flower shops in Leon.
I love the concept of what is basically like a bunch.
Interesting choice of decor in here.
Perhaps it wasn't always used as a storeroom, although I can understand why it would have been converted.
Yeah, it is rather drafty in here.
A bunch of like London-sounding town and city names in with a bunch of like 20s New Yorker cops in it,
Right.
or Chicago. Look around.
Lamplight City,
What's the-
in all her glory.
What you looking for?
What's that on the right side there, toward the top?
Interesting.
Gap.
There's a
Okay.
gap between the window and the frame here. No wonder it's so drafty in this room.
That is interesting, but like the latch goes up, right? So I don't think you'd be able to go from there down.
The window latch, securely locked.
But that is
I wonder
What are you thinking, Fordham?
that it's time for an experiment. I'm going to need a tool,
Ooh.
however. Something long
Nice.
and thin should do the trick.
Shouldn't be too hard to find something
Oh,
like
but
that
if you had a
around here.
Yeah, you could,
hanger,
Right, like a coat hanger. Just
yeah,
pull it up. Easy.
yep.
This provides a means of escape from the top floor, or access to this window from the ground.
I wonder if they made this an AGS. I don't know why my brain goes to that immediately, but I'm like, I've been poking at game dev stuff for the past week, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder how they did this. Hey, did you finish yesterday? Did you finish the game? Did you give it a title and finish the game?
Yes.
Yeah. That's exciting. If for somehow you're in my chat and do not know, robotspacer has been making a game for the past year. It has been very exciting to watch develop, and it is now complete?
More or less. Still got some little things to do, but it's pretty much everything I'm going to do on stream is done.
Awesome. And what is the final title?
Transfer Point.
Okay, it is Transfer Point. Great.
It's been Transfer Point for a while. We just didn't name it. We didn't name the app.
The app, yeah.
Until we were done with everything.
I would imagine that keeping a consistent temperature in here is important for the flowers.
When do you suppose this contraption was last serviced?
Hard to say. Definitely not recently, if the dust buildup is any indication. A rather distinguished-looking gentleman.
Reminds me of Captain Snelling, if he ever smiled.
A young lady. Perhaps a relation of Mrs. Hanbrook?
I can see the resemblance. Sort of.
All right, so everything else...
on top of that shelf.
Yeah, like, what is this?
Device.
I've seen this type of device before. It's a special container for growing plants. Specific temperature and water conditions can be adjusted. Seems to be empty right now, though. And judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time, if ever.
It seems Mrs. Hanbrook isn't too fond of steam tech, or just doesn't understand it.
Seems to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not just throw them away, I wonder?
It's likely they're going to be repaired. I noticed some faint cracks in some of the pots downstairs.
Yeah, if you have all the pieces, repairing a clay pot's pretty easy.
Unmarked, but if the smell is anything to go by, this is where the flowers are stored when delivered.
I'll keep my distance then.
Unmarked, but if the smell is anything to go...
I'll keep my...
Yes?
There's little glints on things. Is that a lighting effect?
I think it's supposed to be dust.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or we sparkle in the moonlight. One of the two. All right, so those are all the crates.
Pastoral landscape. Definitely nowhere near here.
I've never much understood art.
Oh, all right. Can I make it not... Weird.
Make it not what?
Make it not advance on right click.
Oh.
My middle finger is apparently too heavy for my mouse's right mouse button.
I see. Do we look at that picture above the doorway?
I did. That was the one that they were just talking about, a nice landscape. Hotspot icons change when new interactions are available. Okay. Is there a hotspot button? If there is, I don't know what it is. But
I think they're saying like
something
when a new interaction is available, like if you mouse over something, the icon you get might be different from before.
This is quite the selection.
Sure.
Oh, on set. I have a few more questions for you, Mrs. Hanbrook.
Oh, okay. Now this is the hold.
Very well, Detective. If it will
oh.
help you conclude your investigation faster.
So she can just keep talking forever, if I would like.
Mrs. Hanbrook, were you aware that there's a gap in the frame of the small upstairs window?
Is there? I only go up there to check that the window is locked. I've never noticed a gap. Are you suggesting that's how the burglar is entering the store?
It's a distinct possibility, but I have yet to figure out exactly how.
Well, I trust you'll come to a satisfactory conclusion, Detective.
I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
Okay.
It seemed like there was some dialogue suggesting that we need to test our theory of how they're getting in the window.
Like, can I...
Aha! This hook is exactly what I need.
Nice.
Be polite.
Mrs. Hanbrook, may I borrow this hook for a few minutes? It's crucial to our investigation.
Is that so?
Yes, I promise I'll put it back as soon as I'm done.
Please do, Detective.
Do we have anything in our... Or do we have an inventory?
Not that I'm seeing.
Okay. So it's like a... context-sensitive thing, probably.
Yeah, that'd be my imagination. That'd be what I would imagine. That makes me interested to see if they do like any inventory combination style stuff.
Yeah.
So do I do it from up here? Or do I go back outside?
Like if the window.
If it was me, I would open the window from this inside, go outside, and have him close it, right?
Yeah.
The window latch. Securely locked.
Can you...
Good. Bill, it's time for our experiment.
And what is this experiment going to be exactly?
Simple. I'm going to see if this hook can get me inside the shop.
Okay, good. I'm like, don't go outside and just climb up the building.
Rather dark out here.
Watch your step, then. This experiment of yours isn't worth a broken neck.
I'll be fine.
No experiment is worth a broken neck.
Now then, could you please close and lock the window, Bill?
Oh, do you get to actually do it?
Oh, do I? Okay, all right.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
I had to hold and drag.
Well, I'd say this is fairly incontrovertible proof that the building can easily be broken into without arousing suspicion.
Where'd you learn how to do that, anyway?
Don't worry about it.
You taught me, remember?
Nah. Are you sure it was me?
Positive. We were a few pints in at the Angel about 5 years ago, and you decided I should learn how to pick locks.
What else have I taught you how to do while drunk?
That would be telling.
I am going to turn off speech hold for now until it becomes necessary later. I feel like their voice cadence is done very well, so it's not really a problem.
Right. Yeah.
Insecure Crush is here in a ruckus.
Oh.
Ah,
Hello.
Trevor.
Oh.
Evening, Cecilia. I've got the order ready to bring in.
Trevor,
order.
these are Detectives Fordham and Leger. They say there's been a report about the burglaries, and they're here investigating.
I only did it because I think it's been going on too long.
He called us
As
in.
much as you want to, we can't handle this ourselves.
We can discuss the matter later. In the meantime, the detective would like a word with you.
I'll be needing to bring in the flowers first, if that's all right. Otherwise, some hooligan's likely to run off with them.
My partner will keep an eye on your flowers. Bill, would you mind?
Ah, the glamour of police work.
The word hooligans is so good.
Now, Mr. Hastings, if I could ask you a few questions?
Go on, then.
Again, I really like the close-up art.
What can you tell me about the recent burglaries?
I wish Cecilia had contacted you a lot sooner. She's a damn fine woman. But sometimes I think she'd rather jump in a rose bush than ask for help. Had to take matters into my own hands. This needs taken care of, and we can't do it on our own, as much as Cecilia would like to. Anyhow, alls I know is someone's been making off with some flowers and leaving money behind. No idea who it could be, how they're getting in, or why they even bother paying. In my day, if you robbed a place, you did it the right way. It's a sad state of affairs when even burglars don't do their
Are you
jobs
complaining that they're paying?
Do you have much experience with burglary, Mr. Hastings?
Now, I never said that, Detective.
Have you noticed anyone or anything suspicious around here recently?
Nothing but the usual roughnecks, ragamuffins, and drunkards. Like I said.
Ragamuffins, also a very
real
good word.
mystery.
I want to say I appreciate they have like dialogue / context sensitive like actual facial animation, and I really dig that because that's pretty rare in this stuff. Usually you would have them animate while they're talking but not really change their static pose much.
Could you walk me through the process of your deliveries?
Of course. There's no great science to it. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons, Cecilia gives me her list of flowers to pick up from the wholesalers. I head over to Gascon around sunset when they get their shipment, and I give them her order. They
Father
load up the
Gascon?
crate, I pay for it, and then I lug it back here.
How long does that take?
Between moving the crate and getting it across the river on the ferry, a couple of hours. Usually the store's closed by then, so I use my key to get in and leave the crate inside for Cecilia to open in the morning. That's all there is to it. Told you it wasn't very complicated.
Do you ever leave the crate unattended during that
Pizza!
No, sir. Never more than a minute. I may be
Yeah.
old, but I got
Pizza
good
can.
eyes. I'd see if there were anything amiss. Besides that, I check
Ice
to
Cream
make sure
Ghost.
the crate is
Ice
still
Cream
sealed
Ghost.
when I drop it off. I'm not about to let Cecilia down by being careless.
Hmm.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Hanbrook?
Been about 10 years now, I reckon. I used to help with deliveries now and then when it was her and David, her husband. But after he passed, she offered to make me her assistant. Unfortunate way to get it, but I needed the work. Used to be I had a job at one of the airship yards, but they let me go after I was injured by one of those newfangled steam machines. So the offer came at a good time. Besides that, Cecilia needed looking after, even though she'd never admit it. If I'm being honest, we're both getting a bit long in the tooth. Not sure how much longer we'll be keeping this up, but as long as I'm upright and breathing, I'll be bringing these crates along, even if it is murder on my back.
I admire your work ethic.
I've got a job to do. Not enough people these days seem to respect that.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Hastings. I'll let you get back to work.
Appreciate it, Detective. If you don't mind, Detective, I still need to check the crate before I bring it in.
Of course. Thank you again for your help.
Right, now,
Learn anything?
Possibly. I may have an idea.
oh, do we?
Ah, you're being cryptic. That's always a good sign. But if you've got a plan, let's talk about it.
I'm
What-
also curious.
Yeah,
is
like what is? Did we miss an idea during that? Ask Bill about surveillance. Okay. Experiment results. All right. No suspect. No document.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles,
Any thoughts on Mrs. Hanbrook's assistant, Trevor?
yes. I feel sorry for him.
Why? He seems to enjoy his work.
Nah, it's not that. He's obviously smitten with Mrs. Hanbrook, but she won't give him the time of day.
What? You only saw him for a few moments. How in the ether did you get that impression?
The way he looked at her, the way he spoke when he confessed to contacting the police. Shall I go on?
No, that's fine. I see what you mean.
Really, Miles. You'd be surprised what you can learn from people if you just look at them.
Why bother doing that when I've got you to do it for me?
Yes, Hinton. Chumley.
Chumley.
Right. Based on what we've been told in our experiment, I can only conclude that our burglar is using the upstairs window to get into the shop.
So, what do you propose we do about it?
It's happened repeatedly over the past 3 weeks, on one of the delivery nights. Since it has yet to occur this week, and today is Friday, logic dictates it should be tonight.
So, we settle in and wait to see if the burglar returns? Catch him in the act?
Exactly. It's our best chance of solving this before the trail goes cold.
And I was really looking forward to getting that drink at the Angel
Are we going
tonight,
to stay
too.
inside or wait
I
outside?
know, but it's as you said yourself. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Besides, forbearance is good for the soul.
Spoken like someone who truly has no idea how to have any fun.
I'm sure I'll get the hang of it one of these days, especially with your expert tutelage.
Okay, let's go have a chat with Mrs. Hanbrook. I'm sure she'll be delighted to know we're spending the night.
It'll be fine, right? Okay.
Damn, I forgot to bring my deck of cards again.
Behind the crates.
At least it's quiet up here. I'm surprised we didn't go deaf after the last time we did this.
What?
I said, oh, right. Your sense of humor remains on point.
Miles, have you ever considered leaving all this behind?
What, you mean quitting the force?
The force, the city, going off and seeing what else is out there, you know?
I'd miss it too much. Wouldn't you?
I was thinking I might visit Harley out west. She makes it sound like a dream in her letters. Wide open spaces, fresh air. I know I'm a city boy and would probably miss New Britannia's filth and squalor after a week.
Britannia,
but
okay.
You should do it. A change of scenery never hurt anyone. Plus, it's much easier for you than it is for me. I've got a family to consider after all.
Ah, right.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that, Bill. It's just...
Shh. I think I heard something.
That is a tall person.
That was creepy.
No.
Bill?
Oh boy.
Stop! Police!
Damn it! He's got up the fire escape. We can corner him on the roof. Stay close
chase
and keep me
scene.
covered.
Very. Oh, his hat.
A hat.
Not gonna pick up the hat.
Bill!
Stay back, officer. Got a knife. Ready your pistol for him.
But you're too close!
I trust you, Miles. Your pistol, now! There's really no need for this, officer. I respect your desire to uphold justice. Mine is more important. If you let me go, I won't come back. And we can all forget
Really
this ever
weird for
happened.
just Flower.
Don't listen to this lunatic, Miles.
What is going
Take
on
your
here?
shot before things get worse.
What do you think?
Shit. I don't know. He doesn't sound like a guy that is going to reason with us.
Are we about to reinforce ACAB? Like what?
I mean,
I have no strong feelings either way. You go for it.
I'm worried that reasoning with him could go bad.
All right.
No!
Well, we shot our partner.
Okay, well that was not great.
Bill! Oh, God! I am so sorry.
I'm going to bet that we wake up and this is a memorial dream.
Hmm.
Nope. I'm wrong.
Now I want to know what happens with the other option.
Miles, wake up! Your house is on fire!
Huh? What?
You see, I told you it was funnier when I did
What?
it to you.
Yes. Hilarious.
What's the matter? Have a rough night?
Is our partner a ghost?
Are we a
Did it on
medium?
the soporific. Why do I feel like I've had this conversation before?
I'm just glad you're in the mood to converse again. Seriously, you took so much of that snake oil last night, I was starting to think you wanted me quiet for good.
I mean, as long as they're not antagonistic.
It's no personal slight. I just need some quiet time, or I'll go insane.
I get it. We all need our space. I know it's not easy, but there's really no need.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you
Shit, I'm
died.
sorry.
You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you
Did we lose our
whine
wife?
about how hard your life's become? You at least still have yours.
I'm losing my grip on reality, and it's all because of you.
Believe me, I know. It's not a pretty situation. But the bottom fact is, you're stuck with me. So you can either keep living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I can understand your confusion, considering it was you who killed me. But the point remains. You wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for him. Once the criminal has been caught and is in custody, we'll both get what we want.
I assume he would have died either way.
Yeah, I imagine so. But maybe
Otherwise, you're choosing between two very different games in that scene.
unless we're haunted by the burglar, I guess.
Justice?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always wanted to give others. Closure.
You do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to keep trying. I know the cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has to turn up eventually. Unless, of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum. And if that happens, I'm really not going to keep quiet.
Fine.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air. Or
Oh, good.
Adelaide's
He's
gonna
still-
start
he's
wondering
still
if you've gone
married.
mental. Or just maybe she'll stop wondering.
Very funny.
I should have saved more. We could have easily gone back to see what happens if we chose the other one.
No. That's cheating. We gotta live with our choices.
It's true.
Even if they were bad ones.
It's just like, oh.
That's a fun little apparatus Adelaide got you. Very soothing.
Watching it spin long enough puts me right to sleep.
I'd say that's really more the soporifics doing.
So that's a huge bed.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music.
That's a whole lot of awkward.
Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. I always liked that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always follow you around the room. Adelaide's last performance. She could really bring the house down.
It's interesting that Bill is now basically the narrator.
Pretty, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore.
I mean, it means you don't have allergies anymore.
Cozy little winter getaway. That would be a welcome change from the winters in this city. Ha, that poster brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you.
I was very ashamed of myself. I was about to ask if this was a bong. It's very much a lamp. I mean, could be dual purpose,
Miles, care to explain what you're doing?
Just checking to make sure everything that needs to be in here still is.
Right. If you start taking that stuff during the day, you're really going to have problems.
Well, look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
Dude, fix your posture. Aw.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to your work. By the way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
I am trying to think of the last time I played an adventure game that involved a married couple. And, like, it kind of King's Quest 4, but also the couple's, like, kidnapped, so it doesn't really count. Five,
Yeah, it is unusual,
not
isn't it?
4. Oh boy, okay. Remembering the HMS I don't know if we said the name. Ligaya? I'm gonna go with Ligaya? Yeah.
One of those, I'd say.
This Tuesday marks the 3rd month anniversary of the tragic crash of the Ligaya. Ligaya was preparing to make its second transatlantic voyage when disaster struck. I'm trying to think if that's actually how they do it with newspapers or not. I can't remember the weird spacing. The airship burst into flames. You see that?
Only the outer columns are fully justified.
Yeah, that's weird.
The inner 2 columns are left aligned.
Huh. I mean, look, I don't know how they print their newspapers. Airship burst into flames shortly after departing for England, crashing into Foster Park. All 300 passengers on board, including Prince Harold, were killed. So this happened like the night after? Because it was just arriving when we showed up, right?
Right.
Huh. Prince Harold were killed, as were 54 bystanders in the park. Jeez. Royal Maverick Lines conducted an investigation and ruled the crash an accident, citing the ignition of the gas leak. Despite this, rumors of sabotage persist. Royal Maverick vowed to instill stricter safety regulations going forward, and that Ligaya's sister ship, the Lenore, would be extremely safe upon completion. There been public outcry and protest at the page 7. Gascon? No, Gascogne was, I think, how they said it. Does that confused me?
Gascogne? I don't think so. Gascon.
I mean, I would say Gascon. Sure. Well, there was one
I
that
heard
they.
Gascon.
Yeah. Okay. There was one name that that was weird. It was the name of like the London style town name. It was
Britannia.
Yeah, Britannia, which was like a GNE.
Oh, it's in here. New Britannia.
Yeah. Okay. He turned into a werewolf. Not that we know of yet. Madame Laura Dupree, age 44, died on Saturday of apparent natural causes. Born Laura Chesterton in London in 1800, she and her family moved to New Britannia in 1804. In 1818, she married Colonel, I'm not British, Andrew Shepherd. Colonel, we'll go with that. No, a royal officer 30 years her senior. The marriage lasted 1 year, ending with Shepherd's death during a trip to... death during a trip to Piedmont, probably. Shortly afterward... Huh?
That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Shortly after, Dupree married Benjamin Montgomery, a doctor who had children. Sadly, Benjamin died of tuberculosis in 1830. We got a black widow. 5 years later, Laura married Jean Dupree, a banker. Dupree was known throughout the community as a great humanitarian for her policy. Oh, no, Madame Dupree. Okay. Unless it is Jean Dupree instead of Jean Dupree. Either way, it doesn't matter. Known as throughout the community as a great humanitarian for her policy of exclusively employing humans rather than using automated service machines in her banner.
Oh.
Funeral services to be held.
Didn't know we had that kind of technology here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it could also be like they mean like Steamworks automated machine, manufacturing lines or something like that.
Sure, it suggests something fairly advanced machines.
Yeah, so for the 1800s, yes. Ethericity? It's real and it's coming, says scientist. The existence of ethericity, a substance that had possessed both energetic and restorative properties, was first put forth 2 years ago by Dr. Bennett Clark. Presentation at an annual Vespuccia Science Conference at the University of New Britannia was extremely divisive. Dr. Clark claims that I'm not going to say this word right ever. Ethericity exists in small amounts on Earth, but it's mainly located in the celestial region, commonly referred to as the ether. Imagine electricity, but 100 times more powerful. In addition to powering our lights and our machines, it could also significantly reduce the effects of aging and heal the sick. The sky will no longer be the limit, he described. Dr. Clark has yet to secure significant funding for his experiments, as his harshest critics have dismissed him as a crackpot. However, there are those who believe that. Second bizarre murder baffles police. This is probably the one I was meant to read. Oh well. New Britannia police are investigating a murder in Cholmondeley. Again.
Cholmondeley.
Yep. Not how I would pronounce that name. Cholmondeley.
The chum.
Yep. The chum. I just, how do you get there from that? How do you get to Cholmondeley from...
Over a long period of time, I imagine.
You're probably right.
Just, people keep kind of shortening it, and... Thank you.
I would probably go Cholmondeley is probably where I would go. Passamaquoddy. I don't know why Pete's Dragon is on the brain. But anyway... similar to one which occurred in that borough just last month. And this was right. Our partner died 3 months ago. Though many details are confidential at this time, we are able to confirm that both victims had been male and died from gunshot wounds. New Britannia police declined to reveal any further details and denied rumors that the murders are being committed by a serial killer. We have no reason to believe that these murders are related, said Chief of Police Reginald Schnelling. We have our finest detectives, and hope to find whoever perpetrated these awful crimes very soon. In the meantime, we ask that the citizens of New Britannia, especially those in Cholmondeley, remain vigilant and report any and all suspicious activity immediately to a police officer. Coverage will continue as the story unfolds. Yeah,
is our partner still a cop? I just realized how fucked up it is to choose to continue being a cop even after you're dead.
I mean, I guess technically... Probably.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, he maybe kind of has no choice or feels like he has no choice because, like, he's got to figure out how to move on, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. Fordham. This is not an easy font to read. Holy crap. A big case has come in which I think will interest you. Meet me at the Rowan Coffee House for more details. See Upton. Oof.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No, but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis. Especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the Ruin Coffee House. That can't be right.
It was you.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
Not before I look at all these photos.
You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes.
Oh, impressive.
I always liked that painting. It's impossible to see that kind of scenery here in the city. Adelaide's father certainly had an amazing life. Imagine being the personal barber to the Prime Minister and his family. The gossip and secrets he must have heard. That makes me wonder what old Mrs. Handbrook is up to these days.
Oh, I thought it was still loading, but I just moved the cursor off the screen.
Ah, the Havisham case. Our first time out as partners. First in a long line of successful cases. It's nice to have a memory of the good old days. It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair? Bollingworth Ale. My favorite. And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday. Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time between cases. Hopefully it'll be a while before you get enough time to build another one.
All right.
Your book collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move.
I don't even want to think about having to move the bookcase that's in this house.
Your book collection has always astonished me.
It is an entire wall.
Oh, God.
It was built by Kia's father. He built it into the wall.
Right.
To be fair, Kia is a librarian and likes a lot of books, and I also like a lot of books, so it fits, but it's big.
Time for me to get some things done.
Give my regards to Constance.
I just noticed we're wearing purple pants.
Oh, that's a nice map.
Yeah. The Gabriel Knight similarities are very high. And I appreciate that.
Ah, the Rouen Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City, but there's no better place to overhear all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion was never your forte.
That's an interesting picture over the bench on the right.
Also, a lot of good hats in this room.
Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles? Not in much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they?
Ah, that's Constance.
Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment. Reminds me of when I was alive. Ah, good times.
Oh, God. Someone needs to clean up that table on the right.
Yeah, that was the first thing I clicked
Not
on.
much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they?
It's a coffee house, right? Not a bar. What is going on in here?
Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies.
I mean, sometimes you get tired.
He and his friend are having quite the conversation. I bet it's really boring. Just one of many patrons contributing to the oppressive thug in here. All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
Look, Bill, I cannot begin to describe to you the extent that people will go to for weird machines and coffee.
I need a quick break to wash my hands.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to keep poking around, that's fine, or we can both take a break.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them once you're in here?
It's rather
Take a
simple,
break,
really.
and
The
I
owner
can
and I
forcibly
have an
hit ads so that people don't have to worry about
Pretends
mid-roll
women are
ads.
allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
Okay. I will switch to the Be Right Back screen, folks, and we'll be right back. Okay. Let's not chide her for giving us work.
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
Oh, I don't mind
Stop
finding
teasing
lost
me.
cats.
Tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
Yeah, we read about her in the
Laura
paper,
Dupre.
right?
She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames.
She's the one that
isn't she?
married a bunch
That's
of people and
right.
died.
I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
I don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She
what?
wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Hey, Puzzlex, how you doing?
Hey, Puzzle.
Has Madame Dupre recovered from her ordeal?
I'm afraid not. Apparently she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being
How
held at the
odd.
Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
I'm very confused with captions because it believes you said 4.
4? 5. 6.
Weird, too, because those are all words, whereas before it was literally in the number 4.
Yeah.
Can I say number 4? Nope. I have no idea. All right, whatever.
Fascinating.
Yes, actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
All right, this looks familiar from the screenshots on the Steam page.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember Publix puzzle
Publix.
when I lived on the East Coast. Look, Publix may be a grocery store, but their sandwiches were all right. Sorry, Kia asking me a question. Okay. Or B. Okay.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard.
Oh.
It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
He's got a very Alan Wake look.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder?
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death.
Yeah, let's say like
duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course, there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
I mean, we did shoot
The
him.
man who really caused Bill's death
We
is still out
definitely
there.
did that.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
See, she has a priority straight. You could learn a lot from up there.
I am going to make the claim now that when we finish this game, I am going to speedrun the beginning to see what happens if we choose the other choice.
I think that's reasonable.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the
Dupre.
paper.
Okay.
She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
Oh, we got autosaves too. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Every map screen, I'm assuming? And then, like, every new case, maybe? I probably should have seen if I could have talked to her, but it's fine.
We got a lot of choices, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, jail, the culprit, or the accused's house, or the manor? Which do you think we should go first?
Manor?
Alright.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
Hello, Mr. Lincoln.
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
I guess I didn't know that we were no longer a cop.
Oh.
Did we know that?
No?
Okay. Well, yeah, because we introduced ourselves as a PI.
Right. I just completely missed that.
It's alright.
Her eyes are glazed over, and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
Alright, Bill.
I feel like the doctor has kind of suspicious vibes.
Yeah.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Oh, that's a familiar face. Who does he look like? What was his first name? Post-White. He was in a ton of stuff in like Dragonheart. Past recently. Yes, Pete Postlewhite. Been in a ton of stuff. Chat, feel free to throw an IMDb link or an image link in there, but he's been in so much damn stuff. the one that I remember the most is Dragonheart, because I think that might have been the first thing I saw him in when I was very young.
And I was just theorizing. I assumed at the time that we were still a cop.
I mean, yeah, so did I. Like, they talk about the precinct and everything.
Basically still our partner.
Mm-hmm. He was the hunter in Jurassic Park.
Mm.
In the second movie, I think.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible,
it's probably her son.
She will
I'm just gonna throw that out there now.
The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
You think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
It's my bet at this point, early guesstimates, is she's been in this catatonic state for a while. Her son wanted the inheritance, said she died, got her buried, and then or interned. And then when she showed signs of life, he blamed it on someone else.
What were the circumstances surrounding
See
Madame
how wrong I
Dupre's
am.
supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look. How long have you been Madame Dupre's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Oh boy.
Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
No suspect. All right.
Oh, hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Can we yeet him out this large window?
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them. Not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes. Well, I'll have a look around, and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
I question whether it was a sedative he was given.
Yeah. That man is on cocaine.
What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupreys a cool copper.
We not talked. Oh!
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Ray is a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
All right. This is a reference that I greatly appreciate that I don't know that robotspacer will get yet.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
Hey, Energized, how you doing?
So long, birdie.
Bye-bye.
Duprey looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
What crack? All right, let's talk to the dude.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Got an elevator?
We'll find out.
A huge elevator.
Yeah. I don't like anything about this dude.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
Why, are you thinking about crying?
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like.
Oh boy.
Is that bad, do you think?
I really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
I think. Oh, okay, it's a hallway. Okay.
Oh,
but
okay.
It does, in fact, look like a giant elevator. Hello.
I see. Unusual
Pardon me, miss.
walls.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame
Yeah,
Dupre.
this
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
is either like really weird tile or like padding.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about what happened to Madame Dupre?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
Huh.
All right, I'm going.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe.
Man, I haven't had gumbo in so long.
It's times like these make me wish I could still eat. Judging by the
Gotta be
amount of
something
food
in
this
here we
family
can do.
probably eats, washing the dishes must take
I bet you we
forever.
need to figure out what we need to give what's his face first, and then we can come back in here.
Some kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen.
Right? We can't look at the giant bushel of peppers.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
The hell did you give that guy?
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave
thank
Andrew?
you.
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh,
That's
of
fine.
course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Well,
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
I'm sure this will be fine. Are we going to see a scene of a dude's heart exploding out of his chest?
Can we go upstairs?
We have
I
not.
assume not.
We can. It's
we
an
can,
option.
okay.
Yeah, we have not as of so far.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Why?
All right, I'm going.
Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges.
I was hoping we could get the bushel of pepper. Those.
Mm.
Okay. Go upstairs.
Oh, I've seen this screenshot.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls. Nice bouquet of roses, although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
Oh, right, because the murderer kept stealing Easter lilies. Easter lilies.
Ah, the Gascon docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed.
Jeez.
Must be nice being able to afford keeping your oil lamps lit during the daytime. Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
Excuse me, what now?
Very good. A cylindergraph.
Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder.
Oh, I've only ever seen that concept in the a player piano.
Do we get to mix our own drugs? Is that
Probably.
what's happening over there?
Did I just take the cylindergraph? No, playing it. I can barely hear it.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay.
At least they're all labeled.
I had to remember my keys. All right. Ah, good. It is click, not... Okay. Well, that's definitely a puzzle. What would be amazing if it wasn't? It's just there.
It would be fun if you could just play around with it.
Yep.
Oh boy, this is exciting. Leeches.
These should be useful.
What was that?
Tweezers.
Ah, okay.
It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark.
Mm-hmm.
The science of pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff. I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
Andrew, enclosed is the agreed-upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on the exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for people like you with home pharmacies. I'll look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel.
Oh.
Joshua. Huh. He definitely poisoned her. Sorry to hear about your mother. I'll wait for a few. I'll wait a few days before passing by. Vigor pills. Is this Quest for Glory?
Dr. Tennyson's Vigor pills.
That'll make more sense to you later.
Sloth, act like a hummingbird. A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out.
If Unsecret Crush is still in the chat, I'm assuming this is what that last Genshin event assumed people would have to make their own potions.
I think she's watching Brit's stream.
That's totally fine. I'm super stoked that she's having a good time with that.
Decadent. What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know. Is this really the best that medical science has to offer?
No, it is not.
Decadent.
Can we not look at the book?
The
Nope.
Science of Pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff.
I guess.
I can only wonder what sort of potions
We came here for the
Andrew
tweezers in the
concocts
note.
this thing.
Yeah, like I guess this is just making it clear that they have equipment to
make poisons
make
and
drugs.
Stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's also possible, like earlier, we don't have what we need to if this is an actual puzzle.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Dupre and I at least have similar tastes.
Okay. Culinary Disaster in chat says, also, this is the era when you went to the doctor and the doctor was like, hey, do some cocaine about it.
That looks like a weeping angel.
Sure does.
Is that a...
This must be the crypt. Special residence of Dupree Manor. Dupree Manor. Martin Gill. Okay, I was like, can I look at the cabinets underneath it? No.
Mm-hmm.
Look in the next room.
Can we go in the other rooms? I bet they're locked. Oh.
I'm surprised as you are.
That's locked.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing.
Bill's voice is starting to remind me of Max from Sam and Max, and it is... the more I hear it, I'm like, oh no.
Likes plants and flowers, don't they?
Like Max if he had slightly less energy.
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though.
Now I need to check. Now I need to be sure. Lamplight City. Don't fail me now, IMDb. Al Pagano. That actually may in fact be Max. Hold on. No. Okay. All right. Let's look.
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
I mean, look. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it.
I've never seen so many...
Okay. I was hoping we could look at the...
Whoever lives in this room really likes plants and flowers, don't they?
So we gotta find a key for this thing. Or... No. Okay. We will use items when we need to, apparently. I'm just looking at your notes now.
Oh.
Yep, that all makes sense to me. Huh. Also, EB, how are you doing today? Is this one locked? Nope. Alright. I do like an explorable house.
A much younger
I like that
Madame
the
Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror.
The flickering lights on many of the screens are very nice.
Yeah, the way that they're doing lighting in general is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Choice and consequence.
What's missing?
Who in their right mind would write a book
Yeah.
about that? I don't even want to know what that one's about.
It's about hypnotizing horses. I mean, that's literally what it's about.
I read that one last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
No, I'm all right. I get that, EB. Strong recommend. Do what you can to fix that, because a good night's sleep is a rare thing and delicious.
Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting.
What does that say? Oh, the Chestertons. Okay.
Yep. Convent of the Damned.
That one sounds interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories.
That's just a fun name. Edwin Lunchfoot. Oh, Lurchfoot. Still a fun name.
One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
I'm going to bet this book is important, but we can't do anything with it.
Excuse me.
All right.
Yeah, like, I feel like it seems like the kind of game where you can't interact with certain things until you know you need to interact with them.
Drawers.
I mean,
damn,
that's somewhat fair. I'm not just going to go take random books off a wall.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Uh-huh, now this is intriguing.
Ooh. Apologies, chat, for a racist word, but I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting mulatto thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house, or I'll kill you. I think we're about to need you to take notes. Of notes?
It would appear that Madame Dupre was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
What does that say at the top?
I think that's the treble scale?
Is that a C?
Yeah, I think that's C. So the C scale. I mean, this makes sense.
Oh, scale. Okay.
Yeah.
C scale. Okay.
Yep. The rest of this makes sense. But that makes me wonder what they're going to make me reference this to. And you know what? I just remembered. Oh, no, go back. Oops, wrong button. All right. I was going to try and throw an image of that in the Steam notes, but it does not like me taking a screenshot.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupre's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom.
Can I look at different shelves? No. Okay. Weird that "and" is capitalized, but alright. Even in a title?
I read that one last. Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one.
I mean, I wanted one of those just because they seem like they'd be rad to lay on, but... All right, I guess we just don't know.
Don't know what?
I guess we don't know if we need to do anything with that music yet.
I mean, we can go play it, right?
We sure can. It's literally just starting from C and then going up,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, which C?
Probably the low C, based on where it was on there.
You're playing too many keys. We want C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Okay, no sharps then.
So just the white keys, yeah.
Well, we can try from middle C.
Right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay. So yeah, maybe start from middle C?
Yep. And can't get to a higher one than that. Let's go backwards.
I see some orange drink comes out.
Yeah. I haven't had high C in a long time. All right. I will assume that we just don't know yet. Wait. Oh, no, never mind. I thought there was something on the piano, but that's just the writing. So we don't have anything to wake him with yet, right? I guess we could have to come back?
Yeah, I do wonder if we need to come... Like, I mean, I kind of wonder if whatever is under the Weeping Angel is...
Yeah, good call.
Is some drugs.
6-7, well, I hope you're on a good trip. And I appreciate you being here. Have I tried listening to every piece of the music in the game in real time? No. Look, this is not Malpedi Island. I am not going to force robotspacer to live through Malpedi Island twice. Coming up on 100 hours of that as it is. We don't need to add to it. I love the game, but I also love that I'm not the one playing it.
It's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. There's an angel on the fountain, but it doesn't look like it's weeping. This would probably be too risky a place to hide something anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta find that crypt.
Yeah.
Oh, tombstone.
Yep. Look, EB, like, I'll take calling it the Insulting Detective
St.
Network.
Dennis Cemetery. Best view
A
in the
guard?
city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days.
Ooh, can we find his gravestone? No. I mean, look, also, I'm 99% sure that at this point, robotspacer wants to solve that game for himself. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I am pretty
I like this
sure.
skull on the bottom right tombstone.
Yeah. That's odd.
Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
It is interesting. I appreciate them. I appreciate them, like, almost forcing you to do an inspection first before you go talk to the person. I actually think that is something that, like, when I'm playing some adventure games, I always forget to do. Like, look at the person beforehand. Every time that we've met a new person, it actually forces you to just basically look at them before you go talk to them.
Right.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
Knock him out.
I mean, we could.
Oh, yeah. Saw someone getting mugged. Perfect.
I think I saw someone being mugged at the front entrance.
Nice try, sir. That's clearly a bunch of bull. You're just trying to get me to step away so you can go inside the tomb.
What? No, I would never do such a thing.
In any case, there's another officer
What I love
stationed
is
at
that
the
almost
entrance,
sounded
so
like
if
you.
there was somebody being mugged, he'd see it for sure.
Well, at the very least, it's nice to see the department is hiring competent officers who aren't easily fooled.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got... Please.
Oh, all right.
The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Oh,
This just
the
goes
audio
to
is...
show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
What?
It sounds very bad for me all of a sudden.
Oh.
I don't know if it's just me or...
We can...
You sound fine. The game was just messed up.
Let me get in here and... Better?
The music sounds fine, at least.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got... Please.
Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum.
Chumley.
Not Chumladolly or whatever it is. Chumdelay? Cholumdelay, I think is what it is. All right, well, guess we're not doing anything here yet. Wait. Oh, good. A double click is an instant move. Okay. Interrogate or break into the dude's house first.
451 Compton Street.
This is the guy that they arrested's house.
We should go talk to him before we break in his house, right? Or is it better to do it the other way around?
I think that makes sense. But especially since we're trying to prove his innocence.
Fordham, is that you?
Yeah,
you look
yeah,
like
yeah.
something a
Right.
cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
What brings you round the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there. I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the
Jeez,
gallows
okay.
this morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
I'm going to put
Such
up
a
some content
charming
warnings for the
fellow,
next stream.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Mild to egregious racism.
Yeah.
In fact, if anyone in chat would love to go collect a list of content warnings for this game, I would greatly appreciate it, and I will get that command updated during stream. Probably during break.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. My name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private
I think
investigator.
that was a dig at his lawyer.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
You didn't do that, robotspacer, but thank you.
Sure.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her.
Okay.
Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
I see.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin.
I'm innocent, but I'm super glad it happened.
I mean, look, one of my favorite lines from Samuel L. Jackson is... I can't even say it. I can't remember the name of the film right now, but basically two guys are murdered and they frame... Samuel L. Jackson is framed for it, and I want to say his line is like, yeah, I'm glad they're dead and I hope they burn in hell. But he's not the murderer.
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, You could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliet Montgomery. Dupre doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes. She might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and
I understand.
loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days.
Also, no one mentioned her before now.
For a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
I have a secondary theory. Especially because that his supposed love has not come to see him yet.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing could be like her as a farce and wanting to kill her mother. And then he got framed for it. Anyway.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
Oh.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... How can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
Gabriel Knight parallels are stronger than ever.
So, what can you tell me about voodoo?
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
That's all for now.
Wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
I am very glad we came to talk to him
that's right.
first.
Yeah.
Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
Oop, sorry. Smacked my microphone. All right.
St. Rock's dog is barking.
Yeah.
He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business.
Here's hoping this does not become our We Wait the Boat.
University.
University or his house?
Oh, right, because Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
House, I would think, first.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Important to eat.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
We don't have anything to write it with.
Sport. Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
Agreed, Hinton.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Roch's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
I am...
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
I am both surprised and delighted by the varying use of color so far in this game. Like, the scenes themselves tend to have a theme, right? But it's not like the entire game is browns and yellows or anything like that.
Yeah.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
I was almost expecting her to hear him. I'm going to give Mr. Robotspacer another shout out. Thank you everybody for being here today for our inaugural CDN episode. I'm having a lot of fun. And it's been a good time.
It's only 9.
It is only 9. It's only been 2 hours so far.
Yeah.
Which we might take another break soon, but we'll see. And you obviously tell me if we need to take a break before then. But...
I'm fine for the moment.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
Yeah, I still wouldn't be surprised if she murdered her previous husbands, but...
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job.
An answer that every viewer of the TV show Lost needs to hear.
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Ask for tea?
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Time to poke around.
A rather interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Let's make some poor decisions.
I was just wondering, like, I'm curious if this is the kind of game where you can
die,
make mistakes. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Die is obviously
mistakes.
one of the bigger mistakes.
Yep. It's a good question. All I know is I do not intend to delete any save games until it forces me to.
Good idea.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
No whammies.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Seems that way.
Huh.
Trust it.
I had a look behind your curtain. Care to explain what all those things in that back room are?
Mr. Fordham, I was under the impression you could be trusted. Clearly, Albert was wrong about you.
Why are you keeping them out of view? What's their significance?
I don't like people invading my privacy, Mr. Fordham. You're no longer welcome in my home. Please leave.
But without me, your son won't get out of jail. Nobody else thinks he's innocent. Are you really going to put your pride over your son's life?
And now you insult me? You're really something special. I won't say it again. Get out!
You clearly hit a nerve there, Fordham.
Rather suspicious, if you ask me. Perhaps her and Mr. Martin's religious practices aren't as innocent as they claim to be.
An interesting notion. Well, I can't deny that the evidence against Mr. Martin is...
I got a trophy for
damning. If his mother was so sure of his innocence, she'd surely have explained what all those things behind the curtain were. I don't think Upton will appreciate being proven wrong. But like fellows said, facts are facts.
What you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm gonna reload.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm welcome to.
I won't stop you. However, I guess I will say I do wonder if maybe that was worth doing.
My thought was once we have that knowledge was to go ask her son. I mean, we can do it. Like we can. We'll live with our consequences. My concern is that they added him as a suspect. We'll see.
But, I mean, that doesn't mean we're accusing him.
Yeah. Guess let's now go ask him.
Nothing else to ask him right now. He hasn't got much time left.
I feel bad about this course of action, but we'll live with it until it tells us that
if you want to go back, that's totally fine. Like, I mean, you made it clear you were saving beforehand.
Yeah.
Because you thought you might be making a bad decision, so.
Does the game give context on whether things are hard lockable or not?
I would think not. Like,
yeah. We'll live with it. I have the same game.
Like,
if we have to go back, like, if there's like a bad end to the case, then we can try again.
Right. It feels like most modern adventure games.
Journey to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here.
Well, Whispers of Machine had multiple bad paths. Although they usually ended up with her dying, but
Those
sound's gone bad again.
Native to this area.
What? Okay, so I don't have any notices. Let me try this. Have no drop frames, which is always nice to see. I'm going to send it to you 720.
Okay.
Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me.
I mean, I was going to say it looks like a giant hand grenade, but okay.
I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them?
People.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to... I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything.
Oh!
She always disapproved of anything I did. When
Hello,
I was younger,
Grendislav.
She used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile.
I don't know if you stream or not. I'm still going to give you a shout out.
She warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties.
Game dev streams.
Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university
say hello as soon as she's done talking.
tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption.
The voice acting is very good, by the way.
As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
Hello, Grundislav. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, we're having a great time with this. We also mentioned earlier we're very excited for your upcoming game. If you would like to leak a release date, no, don't. No. No. Keep to your PR plans. So welcome in. Yes, we are. This is our first time checking out Lamplight City. I know, culinary. Look. The first time I checked out Lamplight City, we're very, very excited to go through it. I've made some allusions to a game that I played previously, Whispers of a Machine, which I loved a lot. And I am really digging this. It gives me lots of fond memories of Gabriel Knight 1 in the best of ways. Hopefully that's intentional, and if not, either way, it's still in the best of ways. I have been second-guessing myself ever since I got kicked out of Albert's mother's house. So, but other than that, it's been going very well. Thank you for stopping by. And it's rad to hear about your streams. I don't know how easy it would be for me to catch them, but I will definitely try. Ah, that makes sense.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the voice was very familiar, so that makes sense. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming by. Welcome in to the inaugural episode of the Consulting Detective Network. And I will give another shout out. I am joined by my fellow remote detective, robotspacer, who is a similar fan of adventure games, and similar to you, an adventure game dev, who just finished up his first adventure game. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
First one I've actually finished.
Yeah. Awesome. Using an old... It was Mac OS, right? Mac OS based game engine called World Builder.
World Builder from 1986.
Yeah. Yeah. I assume so, but I didn't want to make any assumptions. And yes, I love Gabriel Knight 1. And I see the lineage. I know that. Yeah. I know the timing didn't work out because of his declining health, but I would have loved nothing more to hear a sudden Tim Curry in this game. All right, let's talk about.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday.
Shout out.
Mother can only provide for him for so long.
Amorous Sky is a fellow member of Cosmic Hearts, variety streamer, all-around cool person, and lovely friend. Please go check out her. That I've got. Excuse me. Check out their channel. Apologies. Gonna say something. Amorous has been playing through a bunch of stuff lately, and I can't remember all of them. But they did recently play through off stream Return of the Obra Dinn, which is a fantastic.
Yes.
I may have forced them to play Return of the Obra Dinn.
Britt.
Oh, hi, Britt. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Britt. How you doing? Thank you, Cadence. Hey, Britt. Britt has been playing through Honkai Star Rail, or as we fondly know of it here, Hong Kong Space Train. Britt has been doing a sponsored stream. I had to think about the right word for a second. But also going through her first time in the game. Had one of the best first 10 pulls I've ever seen, which is saying a lot coming from me. It's a long story. Britt, how far did you get? You stopped, let me think. You stopped right as you got to Gerillo 6. Or I stopped right as you got to Gerillo 6. Have you made it anywhere yet on Gerillo? Oh, that's interesting. Ah, she got up to the clinic. Okay, awesome. Wow, you made progress. That's quick. Look, Amherst, I just pushed the button. I don't have any control. You need to get to Cocolia in 2 days. Okay, you can do that. Yeah, you could do that. I'm very excited for you to get to Cocolia. That's a, it's great. Look, I'm just going to say it's great. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. But thank you, everybody, for coming by. If you are new to the channel, my name is Silverstreak, or Silver. I'm a game testing program Become Sentient, a variety streamer, a VTuber, and a large fan of adventure games. I am joined by robotspacer, a fellow variety streamer, not a fellow VTuber, but fellow fan of adventure games, and all-around cool person. And we are doing the inaugural stream for the Consulting Detective Network, which is going to be an ongoing series of me joined by remote detectives as we check out different investigation-focused games. And Lamplight City is going great. We were investigating a not murder? Because no one's dead.
She's fine. Well, she's not great.
She's not great.
She's not dead.
She was going to be buried, excuse me, for the English speakers, the American English speakers. She was going to be buried, and wasn't. She woke up. She got better, but she is catatonic, so it's a long story. And this is her daughter that we are talking with.
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes. I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
Bodies.
But I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discoveries soon enough.
Incidentally,
Soylent
do you know
Green?
anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
It's worth an ask.
I'm making a note. Has plant secrets.
Yep. For those that are wondering, I have a special setup here, and I can just, hit this button. We can all see robotspacer's fantastic notes. Also go up here. And also I'll go up here.
Not much on this page.
Okay. Well, I am confused now. Because I don't know.
What are you confused by?
We don't really have any leads.
It feels like we're still missing a lot.
Can we talk to him now that we've talked to her?
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her, but even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's
New
all
objective.
for now.
Oh. Let's not do that one. Return to Upton and accuse Albert Martin. I really do wonder if we could just get it wrong.
Yeah.
Go back to streaming. Oh, we could probably talk to the kitchen cook because she was friends with Juliet.
Oh, yeah. I was also wondering, like, I'm curious what we need to do to get into that tomb. Like,
is it just a matter of time thing, right?
Right. Like, we just need to do certain things first. Maybe he's still there, so
yeah,
probably.
I guess let's go talk to the cook.
Like, either he needs to leave,
or we need something to knock him out,
or, well, I guess that's a possibility. The thing I was gonna say was maybe there's some information we could gain that would convince him.
Look, Kitten, we're not going to talk about that. For those just joining us, at the opening case of the game, our police detective partner was held at knife point on the roof, and we missed our shot at the assailant and got him.
It was my fault. I told Silver to do it.
I took the shot.
True.
We will share the blame.
Okay. What was the
This
icon on the
quack
top?
hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
Right? Was that going back to our house?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. We get a sedative or
a stimulant.
Stimulant, yeah.
I'm assuming we have to make it, but I'm assuming we would also have to know how to make it, or like what the ingredients are.
Right.
Oh, good. I forgot. I can double click to.
Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on them.
Okay, no, we've already heard that. Amelie.
Maybe some gumbo is what he needs.
I wouldn't mind it.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
It's fine.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
That's correct.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens.
Huh.
He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
No, say more.
No, we would like to know more.
What do you know about Madame Dupre's supposed
hello,
death?
B.
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
That does make me wonder. She did also mention when we were asking her about Andrew, like that she should have cut it off sooner. And so I'm hopeful I'm wrong, but I'm wondering if the kindness is a facade just to get at her mother.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one. Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madam's incident.
Well, that's suspicious.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now, please, let me get back to work.
And we didn't get a clue for that? That's interesting. We're not going to take note of a person who's new and mysteriously disappears a few days before the incident. That's...
Right.
Huh. I have a feeling we might be a bad detective. Still high as a kite, sir?
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
Hey. Ollie. I guess Ray.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Okay, nothing new.
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
As amusing as it is to chat...
Nope, didn't mean to do that. So we're going to assume this room is Juliet's room because of all the flowers. Wait,
get in that trunk.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
I got tweezers. And a
You
way
tried that though, right?
Well, we can't really do anything with it.
Right.
Ooh, papers? Were those there before?
Let's have a look through these papers.
We didn't see him at least.
What's this?
Ooh.
Is it a drawing or is it an actual key?
Yeah.
Dear Miss Montgomery, unfortunately I've been informed of a series of burglaries in the neighborhood near the room you're renting from me at 76 Forest Lane. Interesting. As a precaution, I've gone ahead and changed the locks. Please find and enclosed a copy of your new key. Hope this doesn't cause too much for an inconvenience. Edwina Crustville.
So, Juliet is renting a room in the Chum. That's certainly interesting. I can't wait to see what sort of dirty secrets she's got hidden away in there.
Nice.
Free key! Probably for the actual apartment, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lock.
But maybe we'll find the key to the chest there.
Yes. Or a sheet of music.
Mm-hmm.
No hinting. I'm afraid there is no magical key to good health.
So I think the audio's goofed up again.
Hey, Gad! Is this someone's room? Or a jungle?
Does it change if you
Quite a fascinating
leave
array
the
of
share and
plants
go
in
back?
here. Not to mention the machinery on the table.
Seems like Juliet is very interested in getting extra credit.
Nope, still bad.
Interesting.
That's so weird.
All right, well, I have no problems clicking the button. And that means that I can bump you back up to this, since the resolution doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working.
It's people.
Water damage on the ceiling? It's gotta be, right?
Or like a weird cloud wallpaper. I'm going to say probably water damage.
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
That's quite...
Let me know what the missing volumes are.
Yeah, can't we look?
Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose. This plant makes Miles Jr. look like a single blade of grass.
Silver doesn't use Mac OS Hinton.
I do not.
Well, now, this is interesting.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Etheric effects, right? Because they call it ether. Etheric? Whatever. Larger, more vibrant flowers. Chlorophyll production seemingly triples. Root system strengthens, increasing capacity to absorb nutrients. Conclusion. Plants thrive from exposure to small etheric currents. Further experiments are needed to determine long-term effects. Etheric effects fauna. Brain is clearly affected, producing a translate state. Muscle control lost. Flap in predictable pattern.
Incoming raid.
Hey, arbitrary water. Hello. Thank you, Cadence.
Hello.
Let me get you a shout out. Hello, Raiders. My name is Silverstreak, or Silver. I am a game testing program become sentient, a VTuber, a variety streamer, and a fan of adventure games. I'm joined today by my remote detective, Robotspacer, and we are working through the inaugural episode of the Consulting Detective Network with Lamplight City. Thank you so much for coming in with the raid, Arbitrary Water. What is War Tales? I feel like I should know that name. Sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Is that's not the 2D side-scrolling mouse Souls game, right? I don't think it is. That's a very good emote. All right, let me keep reading. If animals with greater cognitive abilities, including humans, are exposed to specific quantities of ethericity, they'll go to a stupor, appearing unresponsive or dead. Hey,
now
that's
we got a suspect.
Interesting.
Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense. They're just doing what flies do best.
You sure you want to do that? Not good?
Etheric? Oh, would you look at that?
What did we just do?
Oh, would you...
Can we look at the book?
Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it.
What if we do it again?
Oh, so you can't do anything after pressing
No,
the button.
it stays as the hourglass.
But maybe
They're
there's
just doing
something
what
we need to
flies
do
do best.
first.
I have no idea nor desire to know what purpose that thing has.
Well, good thing I didn't ask you, Bill.
I'm guessing they're probably full of more scientific equipment or plant-related stuff. They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes two of us.
How did we not take a note of that? How did we not take a note of that?
Why were the locks changed?
Robberies.
Robert. Okay. So...
I mean, someone could have come in here and seen this research and then, like, used it on her, I guess.
Right.
Well, now.
Like, there were books taken.
Yeah.
Etheric?
Alright, well, let's leave you in this state.
Oh, would you look at that?
Alright. Interesting. So does that actually do anything for us? Cops there? Yep.
Oh, maybe we can put him in a catatonic state.
Possible. I don't have a pocket full of ether, but...
We'll get there. I feel like we should talk to Juliet about. Okay. Do you think that's a wise decision?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a questionable thing to do, but
I mean, we did also break into her house. Hi. So we visited your apartment.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Sure.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone
in the
in
paper.
your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler,
Lying.
her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Yeah. Also, I love that alternative phrase for liar, liar, pants on fire. This is a bad question. This is a bad question. When I asked the bad question.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I'd be inclined to go with the last one, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own.
Also, I don't know
merits
that
by
it's
my
cheating
peers
if the
or
whole
professors.
point of the class is to
I
grow
fought hard
plants.
to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific
how science
types.
works.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
That doesn't really get us a new line of questioning anywhere.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time for a break, especially because I need another drink.
Yes.
So, for everyone in chat, I will switch to our Be Right Back screen. I will start an ad specifically because I forgot to last break. You will be able to fish while we're on break. If you're watching the VOD, I'm going to stop this VOD here. So, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to check something else out on the channel, and be safe and be kind to one another.